This is happening a lot. We have Trump voters who are realizing that Donald Trump only is looking out for himself and his billionaire buddies, and he's actually released legislation that is going to actively harm his own base. And I have some interviews with Trump voters who said that they are going to lose their health care because of the legislation that Donald Trump and Republicans have passed. I also have some footage of a husband who is wrestling with the fact that his wife has been detained by ICE because of what he voted for, which was Donald Trump. And I also have an amazing ad from the Lincoln Project that you'll want to watch. But first, let's go to this clip of this Trump voter who said his healthcare is going to be taken away. And please do watch till the end, because I have a hard time feeling sympathy for these folks, and you'll see why at the end of this video.
My medication, it runs $20,000 a month without insurance. I make $800 a month. Oh, that will kill me. That would kill my friends. That would kill millions of people in this country if they lose their health care.
We're in California's District 22, a rural community in the state's Central Valley. This district voted for Trump for the first time in 2024, but now his policies threaten one of the benefits people here rely on the most. Do you know anyone personally who voted for President Trump but depends on benefits like Medicaid?
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people.
One resident who would be impacted by Medicaid cuts is 64-year-old Irma Arredondo, who voted for Trump in 2024. Irma has several chronic health issues, including type 1 diabetes. She's also a full-time caregiver for her daughter, who has cerebral palsy, and her sister, who has Turner syndrome.
The medicine that my daughter takes for seizures, I won't be able to afford it. So we feel hopeless if those cuts come, you know. What we're going to do.
Irma was a farm worker for more than a decade. She believes that some of her and her children's health issues can be linked to the pesticides she was exposed to while working in the fields.
Look at me right now. Look at me how many sicknesses that I have. We got all in the fields. Where else? I feel like these tapping nuts in the back, you know. But why? Why when we put food on their tables? Trump promised a lot of things. I thought it will be more family values and those programs that they really need here.
One of those promises was to protect Medicaid, which 67% of people in this district rely on. It's the largest percentage of any district in the entire country.
Can you guarantee that Medicare, Medicaid will not be touched?
Yeah, I mean, I have said it so many times, we're not going to touch it.
The yeas are 218, the nays are 214. The motion is adopted.
This bill represents the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. It will devastate vulnerable populations.
The largest tax break, though, to the wealthiest individuals. Are those your values?
No, that's not right.
Irma isn't the only one in District 22 who feels betrayed by the administration's plan to gut Medicaid.
The only people they're hurting are the poor people that really need the stuff. Elon Musk doesn't need it, Trump doesn't need it, and, you know, billionaires don't need it.
They're making out big time with this, but they're hurting people in the process.
If we could go back to November, who would you vote for now, seeing what you see?
Not either one.
You just wouldn't have voted?
Not either.
Yeah, so this woman says that she just would not have voted. Instead of realizing what's happening to her, her family, her community, she still says she wouldn't have voted. I understand that we need folks like this to understand what they did was not going to benefit them, but I also feel like we have to be accepting, and we have to welcome people and bring them into the tent wherever they are in their process of understanding that they got screwed over. So I don't want to make fun of these people, and I certainly understand that they got tricked, but to hear someone say that she is not going to, she just wouldn't have voted knowing what happened to her, her community, and her family, it's just a hard pill for me to swallow. It's a hard pill for me to swallow. And I do think that, though, we do need to be able to reach our hand out to these folks who are understanding that Donald Trump lied to them, whether that be a MAGA person upset about Epstein, a person losing their health care, or someone whose family is being ripped apart by ICE. Here's this.
You voted for Trump. How do you feel now?
Horrible. Horrible.
What did you vote for?
I voted for change, but I didn't vote for this change.
Through tears, wearing an ICE-issued uniform, Cynthia Oliveira begs the Canadian government for help.
I really do need their help. I don't want to be in.
The mother of 3 is currently being held by ICE at this detention center in El Paso, Texas. She says her nightmare started on June 13th when she went to her green card interview.
You thought you were going to be getting your green card, but instead they arrested you. Did they trick you?
Yes. They said, look, you know, she's getting deported immediately.
Cynthia's husband, Francisco, is a U.S. citizen. She says her parents brought her to the United States from Toronto when she was just a little girl.
The U.S. is my country. That's where I met my husband. That's where I went to high school, junior high, elementary. That's where I had my kids.
And like her husband, she too supported President Trump's promise to launch the largest deportation program of criminals in American history.
My wife is a very, well, up until 18 days ago, was a strong believer in what was going to happen the next 4 years, but we feel totally blindsided, betrayed.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel terrible for these people. I do. Donald Trump, though, said he was going to do all of this. He was going to have the largest mass deportation program in our nation's history. I just don't know what they thought that meant. There aren't enough criminals in this country who are here without documentation that could be deported. It was always going to lead to this. It was always going to lead to this. And I feel so badly for anyone who has been caught up in it. And I do hope that this gentleman who is understanding now that his vote has consequences will look at the midterms and will say to himself, no more of this, no more of this. And I want to end with this because the Lincoln Project released this incredible ad, and it's about alligator Alcatraz. And it at first seems like it's an ad for the concentration camp, but wait for the surprise reveal because it's incredible. But thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit like on the video. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Alligator Alcatraz, an impregnable prison camp surrounded by miles of the most deadly parts of Florida. Poisonous snakes, fierce and hungry alligators, miles of unmapped swamps, storms, hurricanes, fierce heat. No one's getting out of Alligator Alcatraz. The people in Alligator Alcatraz are subhumans, the worst of the worst. Alligator Alcatraz is going to teach these criminals a lesson. If you're upset by Alligator Alcatraz, just wait. Because when the Trump era ends, we're keeping it open for the corrupt crypto scammers like Don Jr., who cashed in on the presidency. Keeping it open for folks like Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, and Tom Homan, who ignore the law, ignore court orders, and deploy masked cops in warrantless raids. We're even keeping it open for the state and federal agents who abuse their power. You built this, MAGA, and some of you will enjoy the view from inside the wire.